सेवितव्यो महावृक्षः फलच्छाया समन्वितः यदि दैवात् फलं नास्ति छाया केन निवार्यते.
Today we sit with a small sharp verse from Chanakya, the legendary strategist of ancient India. Listen to its sound first. Sevitavyo mahavrikshah falachaya samanvitah yadi daivat phalam nasti chaya kena nivāryate. In plain words, take refuge in a great tree, one that offers both fruit and shade. And if by some turn of fate there is no fruit, tell me who can take away the shade? Let us walk through the words slowly, because each one is doing quiet work. The verse opens with sevitavya. This comes from the root save, which means to serve, to attend upon, but also to dwell near, to take shelter in. And the grammatical form here is not a suggestion, it is an instruction. It says, this is what should be done. Serve the great tree. Stand near greatness. Mahavrikshah, the great tree. Not just any tree. Maha means great, not merely in size but in stature, in generosity of being. Then comes the beautiful compound, Falachaya Samanvitah, endowed with both Phala, fruit, and Chaya, shade. Hold on to these two words because the entire teaching lives in the space between them. Phala comes from the root phal, to ripen. It is the word Sanskrit always uses for results, rewards, outcomes. Chaya is shade, but also grace, reflection, a kind of sheltering presence. Now the second line delivers the twist. Yadi daivat phalam nasti. If because of daiva, because of fate, there is no fruit. Chanakya, the most hard-nosed realist in Indian history, openly admits it. Sometimes you do everything right, you choose the right tree, and the season still fails. The harvest simply does not come. Fate holds a veto over outcomes. And then the question that makes this verse immortal. Chaya kena nivāryate. The shade, by whom can it be prevented? It is a rhetorical question, and the grammar itself contains the answer. The verb nivāryate is passive with no agent named because no agent exists. Nobody, nothing, not even fate itself can take the shade away. As long as the tree stands, the shade is yours. Now, where does this verse come from? It belongs to the Chanakya Niti, a collection of practical wisdom verses attributed to Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, the advisor who, over 2300 years ago, placed Chandragupta Maurya on the throne of an empire. Unlike the Bhagavad Gita, there is no battlefield here, no divine dialogue. This is a manual for living, advice for the student, the minister, the householder. And the burning question it answers is this: in an uncertain world, whom should you attach yourself to? Whom should you serve? In Chanakya's time, your entire fortune depended on your patron, your teacher, your king. Choose poorly, and when hard times came, you were left with nothing. So Chanakya gives a test. Attach yourself only to the great tree, the person, the institution, the path that pays you in 2 currencies, not 1. And here is the deeper teaching hiding inside the metaphor. Fruit is what the tree does. Shade is what the tree is. Fruit is seasonal, conditional, visible, countable. Salary, promotion, praise, results. Shade is constant, invisible, structural. Protection, peace, learning, dignity, belonging. Fruit depends on the weather. Shade depends only on the tree's existence. Chanakya is teaching us to evaluate everything in life: a job, a marriage, a teacher, a daily practice, by asking not one question but 2. Yes, what fruit might it give me? But more importantly, what shade does it cast? Because fate can cancel the fruit, fate cannot cancel the shade. Notice how this converses across the centuries with the most famous verse of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, karmaṇy evādhikāraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Your right is to the action alone, never to its fruits. The same word, phala. Krishna reforms our inner attitude. Act, but do not stake your peace on outcomes. Chanakya works from the outside. Choose attachments so wisely that even when the outcome fails, you are still sheltered. One is the philosophy of detachment. The other is the strategy of resilience. Together, they are complete. The Stoics of Greece taught the very same division. Some things are up to us, some are not. The fruit is not up to you, but the choice of which tree to stand under, that is entirely up to you. And modern thinkers of risk and investment echo it again. Seek positions where the downside is protected and the upside is open. The great tree is exactly that. The shade is your guaranteed floor. The fruit is your open upside. So how do we live this verse starting today? Let me leave you with a simple practice. Take one commitment in your life that has been frustrating you lately. Perhaps a job that has not rewarded you, a practice that shows no progress. Draw 2 columns. In the first, write the phala, the rewards it may or may not give. In the second, write the chaya, what it gives you simply by its presence, the skills you absorb, the character it builds, the people it places around you, the peace it offers. If that shade column is rich, re-anchor your loyalty there and let the fruit become a bonus rather than a demand. Watch how the resentment softens. But if the shade column is empty, then you have learned something even more valuable. That was never a great tree, and no amount of waiting will turn a vending machine into a banyan. And carry one question with you into every new decision, every offer, every partnership, every association. Before you ask about the fruit, ask, where is the shade? Then turn the verse around one final time toward yourself. Become the Mahavriksha. Be the kind of person whose presence shelters others even in the season when you have nothing to give. Let your fruit come and go with fortune, but let your shade never depend on it. Yadi daivat phalam nasti. Even if fate withholds the fruit, chaya kena nivāryate. The shade, who can ever take it away? Sit with that question today. It answers itself.
सेवितव्यो महावृक्षः फलच्छायासमन्वितः यदि दैवात् फलं नास्ति छाया केन निवार्यते